Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Between Femmes podcast, where we're going to be talking about the different ways that endometriosis is impacting our lives, what it's like to live with endometriosis. And we met each other through online. We were strangers, but we all had one thing in common, and that is our diagnosis. For this first episode, we thought it would be a good idea to do a little bit of get to know us. So, we're going to share a bit of details about ourselves and maybe a bit about our endometriosis journey. And we can share whatever feels right to share at the moment. I'll kick it off by starting with myself. So, I'm Michaela. Hi. You might also hear being referred to me as Mick or Mickey. I'm 38 years old. I was born in the UK, London, but I was raised kind of throughout Europe. I'm half Dutch, half French, and live most of my life, I think, in the Netherlands, where I'm living at the moment with my fiance and our two Labradors, Riley and Meadow. And for me, when it comes to endometriosis, I was finally diagnosed end of 2023. After struggling with it, I would say since the moment I got my period at 13. I also have, this is always a great word, adenomyosis, if I'm saying it correctly. I have PCOS and I have an underactive thyroid condition. So you could basically say that hormones have been a shit show for me most of my life. And anytime I had another health condition or something come up, and I would ask doctors if it's related to hormones, they would always dismiss me. And during this podcast, we're going to definitely be talking about how we've been dismissed because I know for a fact that we all will have been dismissed or gaslighted. But what I would like to share is that I'm still surprised, and it's kind of stupid to say surprised, how much this condition affects my daily normal life. And to give an example would be yesterday, where I thought to have like a nice, normal day of going shopping with my partner to celebrate our anniversary, have sushi for lunch and a cocktail. But by the time we got home, I had to go to bed with a lot of pain and discomfort because I was bloating like crazy and gassy like crazy. And so the rest of the evening wasn't so romantic. And that's living with endo, and it sucks. And that's what we're going to get into. So that's a bit from my side. I think that's kind of what I wanted to share. How about you, Ugna? Tell us about yourself.
So I'm Agne, I'm Lithuanian, 30 years old, but currently live in England. I got diagnosed in July last year. So it's only been just under a year, but I've been suffering for quite a while now. Most intensely probably for the last 6 years. I live with my two little dogs, which one of them we adopted recently, and my partner Luke. And I'm very grateful that I have them because obviously with endo you need all your comforts, and they're like my comfort little babies. So yeah, I mean it's the same as you, Michaela. We spoke on Friday, and it was the same thing for me. Went out for a team lunch, came back home, agony, can't move, and I've been in the flare ever since. So it's endo has impacted so many aspects of my life. I used to do powerlifting. I used to be a lot more active, going out, going to raves with my friends and whatnot. And all of that has completely changed. And I'm mostly enjoying my mortgage now and staying at home because that's life. Um, but yeah, I'm looking forward to sharing more of the journey with yourselves and also with everyone that's going to be listening and just get into all the nasty and ugly and hopefully some of the happy details that we might have to share during the podcast. Coco, tell us about yourself.
Hello. My name's Coco. I am from Canada, now still living in Canada. One day we'll get over to Europe to see you all. My journey with endo started similar to you, Mick, with my first period. I've been dealing with symptoms for the last 19 years. It took 16 years to get diagnosed. I was put on birth control really, really young, and every subsequent problem or health issue that came up was just sort of related to either periods are just really hard or anxiety. So I finally was able to have excision surgery where they did find endo in December 2022. But my life took a little bit of a turn after that. And now the symptoms that I'm dealing with are more consistent and worse than they were before the surgery. So there's been an interesting new layer to navigate. I think reasons for me wanting to do this podcast was like partially for younger Coco, who was just told your labs are normal, so you must be fine, or told really audacious things in the midst of a health crisis or an emergency room. And so part of my reason to do this is for young Coco to be like, hey, that's not normal. That's not okay. And part of this is now current Coco, who just realizes how important the community piece is. Endo is such an isolating disease. It takes you away from your work. It takes you away from your family. It impacts your ability to have family at times. It takes away from your social life. So I'm just feeling now at the tender age of 32 really called to create and find community that has experiences like me. Still living in Canada, like I said, with my partner and our two little dogs, who you probably will hear interrupting the podcast on some days. How about you, Jane?
I'm Jane. I'm from Cape Town originally. I'm 36 years old. I was officially diagnosed with endometriosis at the end of 2023, but I've been suffering since I was my first period, so 11, and then I was diagnosed with PCOS and every other thing, but not endometriosis, and also it was never taken seriously. I was in pain all the time. I had to miss out on school. I suffer from chronic migraines, crazy insomnia, and nobody ever really thought, it could be endometriosis. Also I have endometriosis and the one I can't pronounce, Anna, someone help me up here.
Adenomyosis.
I'm sorry, I can't pronounce it.
It's different
No,
in
I
every
have to say
country.
Michaela said she can't pronounce
Adno.
it, so I was like, oh, we shouldn't be able to pronounce it.
So hard
But
to
yeah,
diagnose and say. Yeah.
exactly. I live in the south of Spain currently with my little dog Kovu. He's a Dackel mix. He's actually at the door. I can hear him sniffing underneath, trying to come in, but we'll leave him there for now. And yeah, I'm excited to be a part of this podcast, mainly because, like, especially when I was first diagnosed, I was looking on YouTube for like videos. I was looking everywhere to try and understand. And then I would get more so like medical jargon videos, and I was like, wait, I wish there was a group of girls sitting down talking about what I was going through, not as a doctor, not from a medical point of view, just how I felt day in and day out. So I'm hoping that us doing this podcast will give younger women or older women even, the feeling of being a part of something, that they're not alone,
Yeah.
And yeah,
Exactly.
that's about it.
Yeah. Well, this is just an intro, but
yeah.
basically the episodes we're going to be doing, I think you guys are going to get to know us very well because we're going to be sharing a lot of personal stuff, real stories and experiences. So this is just the tip of the iceberg, basically.